I'm not able to scroll on the system of mine further than to see. I see there are 34 participants on the platform at the moment. But welcome to this Portfolio Committee on Health meeting on the 29th of March 2023. We are here to do two things. It's really to continue the processing of the NHI bill, and secondly, to consider and adopt minutes of the previous meeting. Before we do anything else, I'd like to first make sure we do attendance and apologies and read the rules of the meeting, and then we will continue with the business of the day thereafter. Ms. Majalamba, can you give me an indication of attendance and apologies, please?
Good morning and thank you, Chair. Present is Dr. Jacobs, Ms. Keller, Dr. Harvard, Mr. Siwela, Mr. Baba, Dr. Northnagal, Ms. Clark, Ms. Chirwa, and Mr. Van Staden. I've received an apology from Dr. Tembekwayo. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Honorable members, before we proceed, let me just remind you that this virtual meeting is deemed to be in the precinct of Parliament and therefore constitutes a meeting of the Committee of the National Assembly for official purposes only. In addition to the rules of virtual sittings, the rules of the National Assembly, including the rules of debate, apply. Members enjoy the same powers and privileges that apply in a sitting of the National Assembly. Members should equally note that anything said in the platform shall be ruled upon. All members who have logged in shall be considered to be present and are requested to mute their microphones and only unmute when recognized to speak. This is because the microphones are very sensitive and will pick up noise, which might disturb the attention of other members. When recognized to speak, please unmute your microphone and connect your video. These members might make use of the icons on the bar at the bottom of their screens, which has an option that allows a member to put up his or her hand to raise points of order. The Secretariat will assist in alerting the chairperson to members requesting to speak. When using the virtual system, members are urged to refrain or desist from unnecessary points of order. Before we continue, I'm going to take the hand of Honorable Clark. I see you raised your hands. Now, honorable members, we have a rule that we are not going to shout on the platform here. We're not going to shout points of order, but we will raise your hands. I always look at the hands which are raised. And I've always been fair to everyone to then give that person who raises their hand. I would assume that it's at that time something that that member deems to be important to raise, as they would have raised almost like a point of order. And when it is a point of order, when they recognize it, they just say it's on a point of order. So, Honorable Clark.
Chairperson, I'm just letting you know, Honorable Wilson is trying to connect. So she's having problems with the connection. So she will join us as soon as she can connect. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's much appreciated. So, honorable members, as you would well know, I was not well last week and I did not attend that meeting. There was an acting chairperson in the person of Honorable Siwela. The meeting had some difficulties and members of the opposition parties had walked out of the meeting. And then the rest of the members continued with that meeting and then received the legal opinions being presented by the Parliamentary Legal Services and the State Law Advisors. Subsequently to that meeting, there had been letters received by the House Chairperson from the leader of the official, the chief of the official opposition, Honorable Gwakube, and then also a letter from the attorneys of Honorable Van Staden of the Freedom Front Plus. Now, those meetings so subsequently to that, there had been a lot of discussions taking place between myself and consultations between myself and the legal assistance which we have at our disposition at Parliament, and there had then been a writing to the honourable members, and I think I would read both letters. It's very quick, it's short, and we would take our meeting from there onwards. Give me a short moment to just open this this letter. Honorable Van Staden, I would assume you would have received that letter. Honorable Van Staden.
Are you talking about the letter from my legal team?
From the chair of chairs.
No, we haven't received, my legal team and I haven't received any answer back from the chair of chairs as of yet. No, chairperson.
Thank you. And Honorable Clerk, you would have received such a letter?
No, we have not received a letter from the chair of chairs. I had contacted our chief whip yesterday afternoon late, and at that stage she still had not received anything.
Well, I'm going to just read this letter, and then we take this as we go, honourable members. It says legal opinion, National Health Insurance Bill, Portfolio Committee on Health. This one is addressed to your attorneys, Honorable Van Staden. I refer to your letter dated 24th March 2023, in which you requested that the meeting of the Portfolio Committee on Health be postponed until at least 19 April 2023 to afford your client sufficient time to seek legal advice. I advise that the functions and powers of portfolio committees are determined in terms of the rules of the National Assembly. Therefore, as House Chairperson, I am not empowered to intervene in a decision taken by a committee in terms of the rules. In this regard, I refer you to the relevant rules that empower committees and chairpersons of committees. Rule 167 empowers a committee to determine its own working arrangements. In terms of Rule 1582, the chairperson of a committee presides at meetings of a committee and may act on behalf and in the interest of the committee to consider any request when it is not practical for the committee to meet. In terms of Rule 161, subclause 1, a committee meets whenever necessary as determined in accordance with its rules and the direction of the program committee. In this regard, the chairperson is empowered to call for a meeting of the committee in terms of Rule 1612, in terms of Rule 2281. The question before a portfolio committee is decided when a quorum is present and there is agreement among the majority of the members present. With due regard to the above rules, I have consulted with Dr. Jacob, the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Health, about your client's request. He has indicated that your client, through its member of the Portfolio Committee, is invited to make the request for a postponement to the committee at its next meeting on the 29th of March 2023. The committee will deliberate on the matter and make a decision on the request. The other following letter is exactly the same. Apart from it says, I refer to your letter dated 23rd March 2023, in which you requested that I intervene in the programming of the Portfolio Committee on Health, and this is written to Honorable Wafube. So, honorable members, I'm also going to ask that I switch off my camera since I'm still recovering a bit, and that I will now take any hands from yourselves on this matter, and we will then get a summary of what we speak about, and we take this from there onwards. Thank you. I'm going to take in the following order: Honorable Van Staden, Honorable Kaba, Dark. For now, in that gala. Honorable Van Staden, please start.
Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you for the information. As I've indicated before you start, I've spoken to my attorneys yesterday afternoon, and by that time we haven't received any feedback yet. But if you can, please forward me that letter. I would like to have it. I've just sent them a message to tell them what happened just now, and that Mr. Frolik did respond, but we haven't received it. Let's say, Honorable Chairperson, the Freedom Front Plus will continue to get a legal opinion on this matter, and then as soon as it is finished, we will hand it in at Parliament again, at the Speaker's office, at Mr. Frolik's office, and we will send a copy to you also. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Clark.
Thank you, Chairperson. We also never received this letter at all, so I would respectfully ask for a copy of this letter so that we can refer this letter to our legal team as well, to make a decision going forward. I mean, I just feel it was a valid request because this is a very important piece of legislation we're working through, and there were two documents that were really in conflict of each other, and I don't think it was unreasonable for us to request more time to do justice to those documents, but we were not afforded that. Thank you.
Honorable Lava.
Morning, colleagues. Morning, Chair. Welcome back, Chair. I hope you are in good health to lead us. You have our support, and we thank God for your health and recovery. Chair, I think the letter, as you have read it, it's self-explanatory. The chairperson is empowered, and the matter is referred to the committee. And we have responded to the call for the meeting. Like previous meeting, we proceeded with the meeting as we are all in the meeting as the meeting started. Here we are at another meeting. The meeting has started, and we have passed some few items. We are ready to proceed with the meeting. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Kela.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Good morning, Chair and colleagues. Let me also join other colleagues to wish you a speedy recovery. We are glad that today you managed to be with us in this meeting, Chair. But I rise, Chair, to support Honorable Kaba, Chairperson, that we proceed. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Siwela.
Chairperson, thank you very much, and greetings to the colleagues and the platform. I think we should proceed with the meeting as planned, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other hands? Honorable Chirwa.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Greetings to all the colleagues. I'm feeling unwell as well this week. I apologize for my voice if there's any difference or anything of that sort. Chairperson, it's quite unfortunate that this is how the proceedings of the NHI are leading us to. We started this process in 2019 and we were all involved from the get-go. And the request that was done by members of opposition parties last week was a fair request, to request more time to engage on the documents that were sent by the state legal law advisors and the parliamentary legal services. And we are still of the view that it was a just request to ensure that this process is not tainted or that is not undermined at the last minute, even in the interest of the ANC that wants this process to continue. It's also in their interest that this process is not tainted in any manner, to say in the last minute, the tenets of democracy or the tenets of justice in the committee, or the tenets of respect, of cordiality, of arranging the rest of what this process has to unfold, were actually tainted by these few incidents. So we share the sentiment that we must still revisit the request that was sent, because we particularly are not rejecting to participate in this process, despite the fact that we reject the NHI as the EFF. But it doesn't mean that the process must be lulled and that the process must be inconclusive. There's many other bills that we have rejected in the past, and it has not led to a fallout of portfolio committee meetings and procedures. So it cannot start with the Portfolio Committee of Health and with the NHI. That is what I want to caution the chairperson on. So even in the interest of the ANC, in actual fact, you do want this process to go on and to complete without such tainting complaints from all opposition party members, or majority of them. That should be room for concern. And it's not even on the agreement or the rejection of the NHI. It's on engagement, on a discussion, such a just and a fair request. So that remains the sentiment that we share. But we still will not be surprised if the direction will be otherwise. We can't force people to want to uphold integrity in a process of a bill that they want to see come to pass or come to fruition. We can't force anybody to want to have integrity and to uphold the tenets of respect in this portfolio committee and in this process. We can't force anybody and we can't hold anyone ransom at that. Hence is the reason why we even left in the previous week. And it's quite sad as well that the meeting still continued without so many members of the portfolio committee meeting, because we didn't just exit on a Zoom platform meeting. We overtly stated that we are no longer part of the meeting. But even those tiny things, are being ignored consistently, which raises room for concern, honestly, in how this whole thing is going about. And it will come back to haunt us as a portfolio committee. And we've gone through similar incidences many times. And the AG has come in and year out to say even the portfolio committee is failing on the tenet of accountability because of such things. This is where it starts, where we can't even allow for a process of engagement, a simple engagement to say, okay, no, colleagues, let's give it more time. We still want to engage on this thing. We're not happy with the amount of time we've received. Can we come back and regroup in the following week and continue with it? Such a genuine request, that makes you realize that we are on the wrong trajectory as a portfolio committee, and that our biases have lost our significance or our right to say we have allegiance to the people, but more allegiance to other things, to other external factors that have nothing with the constituencies that we serve. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Ahmed.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. And I think I second Comrade Koba's opinion. We are ready to proceed. but we can also consider opposition parties' opinion. Thank you. That's my view.
Thank you. I see, I'm not sure which are now legacy hands. I would think, if I see correct, there are new hands of Silvela, Kaba, and Gela. Please lower your hands, those who don't want to speak, so I can just see on the system.
No, I would like to speak, Chair, if you allow me.
Yes, but let me first hear from Honorable Siwela.
Chairperson,
Yes, Honorable
Chair-
Siwela.
am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Chair, I don't think, probably, Chair, we would like to proceed with the meeting. But if the opposition insists that they still think it's a fair request to be granted some time, I will suggest, Chair, that we give them 1 week to do that, and thereafter we'll proceed. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Kaba.
Chair, thanks for this opportunity. I think we have heard what other honorable members are saying about the meeting proceeding, want to consult with lawyers, and like even what Honorable Shiva had said. Chair, I think we are a caring government. We are a caring elected by the people. Let me rise to support Honorable Suela to say, Chair, 1 week. 1 week, it's fine. Well, last week we proceeded as Honorable Dr. Harvard said. We are ready. Actually, ANC, we are ready. But I support Honorable Suela. 1 week, Chair. I think it's a fair request. Thereafter, we are proceed. I guess we are saying 1 week. I support Honorable Suela. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Gela.
Yes, Chair. Listen to the request, Chair, and also what Honorable Suela is saying. We thought that they will also request extension again to this meeting. I rise, Chair, to support Honorable Suela that let's allow other honorable members a week. But also, Chair, I think we must also agree that we will continue with the NHI. I know that, Chair, it's a constituency time, Chairperson, but we need also to make sure that we continue with the work, Chair. A week, it's granted, Chair. If we can grant them a week, so that at least we continue with the NHI, Chair. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Sherwa, is that a new hand?
No, Chairperson, it's an old hand.
Thank you. Honorable members, I'm going to say to you what my thoughts are. And then I'm also going to say what our dilemmas are. And then we will also give the ruling based on your inputs. Just to say that we've all had the same time from when the bill was introduced to Parliament to do the work up to now. Every single political party had the same opportunity. Every single member and every single political party had the opportunity to raise in a very fair, open, transparent manner all of their concerns. Not a single person, not a single member has not been allowed to participate fully. the processes of or the manner of processing legislature is only what it is. It's determined by what the rules stipulate. So we follow this as closely, and I would think at this point in time, I would say 100%. We follow the process that is allowed in terms of the rules. And I make sure that those processes are correct, that they're fair, and that everyone has an opportunity. And this is done through a lot of consultation, a lot of reading, a lot of preparation. And there's a reason I'm telling you this, because it's not thumbs up. Wake up in the morning and you come here and you have a meeting. It's a lot of work that goes into it. Just for your, to remind you that having come to where we are now, it's not been by chance. It's been a lot of hard work. Now, that having been said, I have noted the requests of Honorable Chirwa and also the members of the African National Congress to allow a week's postponement for further legal advice to be sought by the political parties. There's one challenge though, in that next week constituency period starts. We come back in April for a few days, mid-April, and then it's APPs and budget. And then after that, we're on 1 week's National Assembly leave. I'm going to make one request, and I'd like you to concentrate only on this request that I'm going to ask now. I would also agree to give that 1 week extension, but I'm going to ask all of you honorable members to request from your chief whips that we then take 1 full day or 2 days, 3 days in the constituency period, starting next week, and try to wrap up this work, because it is also incumbent upon us to be able to complete the work that is before us. Would that be a fair trade? Trade in the sense of hearing what you're saying, having seen myself having read the letter to yourselves of what the chair of chairs says, and understanding that it is fully, and understanding that it is fully within my decision and the decision of the committee. And when one says a decision of a committee, it therefore means the majority of a committee to make that decision. Would that be fair? And I'm going to ask the honorable members of the opposition parties and of the ANC whether you'd be able to engage with your chief whips and allow us space within the constituency period to try and advance the work on the vote. I'm going to take hands only on that now. Anyone? Honorable Kaba, Gela. Anyone else? Clark? Van Staden? In that order. Starting with you, Honorable Kaba.
Yeah, thanks, Chair, for the opportunity. Chair, I think it is fair of your request, and I think for such submission, we would lobby and request that we dedicate the full day. Even today, it was almost about full day. We are starting at 9:30, we're to end at 2:00. But it's fine, Chair. I think we'll do so. I will also request also other members that we give our dedication to NHI. Thanks, Chair. I agree with your request. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Gela.
Thank you, Chair. Chairperson, I think you are fair enough, Chair, and really your request, we must appreciate your fairness, Chairperson, and also as portfolio members, I think we must consider also your request to say we will compromise 1 or 2 days so that we continue with the bill during our constituency constituency time, but we'll also ask our chief whip to grant us that permission, Chair. So we will inform you, Chair, as African National Congress, but we do support that. Let's continue with the work, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Clark.
Thank you, Chairperson. We will communicate with our chief whip and get back to you on the issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Van Staden.
Thank you, Chairperson. Now, I will also communicate with my chief whip, but my request that whatever decision is taken here today, that you please communicate it to Mr. Frolik and that Mr. Frolik communicate it to my legal team also, please. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. So, honorable members, is there any other hands? No. Just give me a second to write what you just said. So, 3 parties had said they would communicate with the chief whips. And remember, honorable members, it might be that they told to do this after 5 o'clock in the evenings, but let us see where it goes. Let us be honorable about it, to really make those requests and to see how we are able to complete the work that has been set before us. So with that having been said, and now not having a certainty as to the outcome from yourselves, I'm going to rule that we give you a week's extension to seek whatever, to complete the work of seeking legal advice. There will be communication from the committee secretary. I would expect the whips or the members of the DA Freedom Front plus ANC, and I would hope the EFF too, to communicate to me and to the committee secretary. Today is Wednesday. Could I say by Monday next week? I think that's quite fair as to your responses on my request. So, as a summary, saying there's only a week's extension. Number 2, I will expect those communications by Monday next week. Number 3, that in light of whatever those communications are, there will be decisions taken to hold 1 or 2 or 3 short meetings, or 1 full day and maybe 1 other short meeting within the constituency period, so that we are able to do the work when the APP and budget work starts, that we are not delayed with this work further than what we have been delayed. Okay, so thank you very much, honorable members. That leaves us with 1 item outstanding, and that is the item of the minutes of the previous meeting. Is there anything else before I go to those minutes? Nothing? Ms. Machalamba, would you be able to fly those minutes, please? Thank you. Honorable members, at this point in time, I'm going to ask everybody else except for the committee members, the parliamentary members, to please leave our meeting. I see we have 48 participants on the meeting. This is going to be a closed meeting, only for members of the portfolio committee and the support staff of our committee. I think there's a very slow exit. Can we please ask those who are not appointed members of parliament of this committee and the immediate support staff of the committee to please exit the platform? Ms. Marjolamba, can you assist me? My system only shows one screen of names. I see so far 21 members, 21 persons present. Twenty.
Chairperson. Chairperson. Chairperson is Mahlengwa.
Hello, Mahlengwa, Honorable Slengwa, how are you?
I'm fine, but my connectivity is very uncertain. That's why I'm in and off.
Okay.
But I'm there.
I saw your name and I was so happy to see you. I haven't seen you for so long.
Thank you. There's Mahlengwa.
Hi. We shall greet you too.
Hi, Chair.
Yes.
I think we are only left with the members of the committee and the support staff. Thank you, Chair.
All right. Can we proceed? And the YouTube streaming? Thank you. Honorable members, the intention of having everyone leave the meeting is because we're going to be considering the minutes, and I thought it's only correct so that when we consider the minutes, and I was not present in that meeting as to what is mentioned in the minutes, that we rather have a closed meeting with regards to this, and then consider the minutes and then adopt these minutes. So page 1, it's the minutes of, well, not this one, but yes, let's continue. So the first set of minutes is the 2nd of December 2022, and the consideration and adoption of the committee's Eastern Cape Oversight Report, consideration and adoption of minutes, and holiday greetings and well wishes. Please note whether you are been noted present in the meeting. Next page. Anything on this page? We went through the report page by page. All parties welcome the report. Next page. And that just a reminder, we're supposed to go back to the province in 3 months, and the date after the date of the word is acceptance or adoption of the report in the portfolio committee, which is on the 2nd of February. I think I would be correct on that date. Next page. Thank you. Can I ask for hands to move for the adoption of these minutes?
Can I just ask something on this minutes?
Yes, I don't note your hand raised, but I'm going to give this one opportunity. I'd like you to raise your hands.
I have. It is raised, Chairperson.
Okay.
No, don't worry. I just want to make sure this was our last meeting for 2022. This one on the 2nd December. Am I correct?
Ms. Majalamba, I need to answer.
Yes, yes, Mr. Van Staden. It was our last meeting.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. But I'll also move for adoption then.
Thank you, Honorable Van Staden. Any seconder?
Chair,
I second.
Thank you. Next set of minutes, please, Ms. Majalamba. It's the meeting of the 15th of March. Briefing by the Parliamentary Legal Advisor and the State Law Advisor on the inputs on the NHI bill. Please scroll. Please note here that you were present in the meeting and whether your apologies were noted. Next page. There's the briefing that was done by Ms. Sue-Ann Isaac, and then also of the parliamentary legal advisors and also by the state law advisors. Anything on these pages? And then in conclusion, meeting will deliberate on what was raised by them. So can I ask for somebody to move for the adoption of these minutes?
Chair, I move for the adoption of the minutes.
Thank you. Any seconder?
Chair, may I second? It's okay.
Thank you, Honorable Naba. Next set of minutes, Ms. Majalamba. In this meeting, 22nd of March 2023, I note that I was not present. It was deliberations by the Committee on the Parliamentary Legal Advisor and State Law Advisors' legal opinions on the NHI bill. Maybe just the words there, just to say what it is. Scroll back a little bit, Ms. Majalamba. Deliberation by the Committee on the legal opinions of the Parliamentary Legal Advisor and the State Law Advisors on the NHI bill. Scroll. You would note, you would note that I was not the chairperson. There was an acting chairperson of Honorable Ika Isiwela at this meeting. And I think I would continue to discuss this, to chair this meeting. And if Honorable Siwela wants to say anything about what is written here as to the content and the truthfulness of the content that is different from here, you can just advise us on that. So there was this request of what we just discussed on the postponement for them to be given a week to consult with their legal advisors. The acting chairperson, supported by the ANC members, indicated that the meeting will continue. Opposition parties walked out of the meeting in protest, and the committee deliberated on the legal advisors' inputs. Continue to deliberate. A couple of amendments were introduced. There are the amendments which have been introduced by the members of the ANC. And there had been in response to the state law advisors, the ANC had made some proposals next, and then a resolution by the committee. The committee noted with concern that they had witnessed Mr. Joe Cutler being verbally attacked and physically hit with a suitcase by Ms. Inchirwa, and that this issue needs to be discussed in its next meeting, which is then this meeting. Anything on these minutes, honorable members? I'm looking for hands. Honorable Kaba.
No, Chair, I think, yeah. So I think the minutes are reflective of really what transpired. And indeed, we proceeded with the meeting as we started the meeting, we were a forum. And Chair, I think I raise my hand to suggest that I propose that we approve the minutes, and then as you escalate the matter number 4 of a resolution, so that as members we have a view on the matter. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Gela.
Yes, Chair. Chairperson, I want to second Honorable Kaba. The minutes are true reflection of what transpired on the 22nd, Chairperson. But also, Chairperson, if you can allow us to speak about what happened last week as a portfolio committee members.
Thank you. So, honorable members, there are two things before me. Firstly, that when minutes have been duly considered and adopted, so we will consider that part done. There's a request by Honorable Gela that we speak about resolution. Is it called resolution? What she calls what happened at the meeting. Now, honorable members, I wouldn't want this to go out of control. I'm asking you to speak, if you want to speak on this matter, to be factual, correct, short, and then I will say what the recourse will be based on what you say. Thank you. First, Honorable Gela, I see your hand is raised. Any other hands? Kaba, after that. Honorable Gela.
Thank you, Chair. Chairperson, I think we must condemn what happened last week as portfolio committee members. It was not good, Chair, what we saw last week. Chairperson, the staff that are here to support us as portfolio committee members. And if there's something that we don't like, Chairperson, I think there are procedures that we must follow as portfolio committee members, unlike what happened last week. Indeed, Chairperson, we saw as portfolio committee members, those who were present in the meeting, the manner that Honorable Chirwa conducted herself, it was not good, Chairperson. So if she can apologize, Chairperson, to this meeting, so that at least we can move on, Chairperson. We'll hear from her, Chairperson, but I think all of us, we need also to work together, because as I'm saying that, Chairperson, maybe now the staff members that are supporting us are scared. They are traumatized with the manner that one of us behaved last week. It was not good, Chairperson, but I like Mr. Khatla. He did not respond actually last week. He was just quiet, but only Honorable Chira was busy talking, insulting, Khatla last week, Chairperson. So, Chairperson, I think I've said it, Chair, that it's not right for us to behave like that as members of the portfolio committee. If there's something that we don't like, we must approach you and also go to the relevant structures that we must raise our frustration. But Chairperson, I think this is not the first time this thing is happening, Chair. So if we can also talk about it, Chairperson, so that at least we close the matter, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Kaba.
Thanks, Chair. I rise to support Honorable Gela to request to all members, not only of ANC, even of opposition, to treat staff, even any other member, with respect. That's why we are called honorable. It's fair, it's a request we are making as the portfolio committee to also keep our performance and manner of behavior in a good way. Differences are allowed, but wherein it may be physical and affecting individual, then it's a different matter. But I believe Honorable Shira, if it's okay with her, will gladly request as a committee for her to simply apologize for the incident. Then we proceed, Chair. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Dlamini.
Thank you very much, Chair, and good morning to you and good morning to the members of the Portfolio Committee. Mine is also to second what Honorable Kaba and Gele have said, and hope that indeed the Portfolio Committee member, Uchira, will indeed express her apology on that matter that we witnessed on the 22nd, Chair. I fully support what they have said. And as the Portfolio Committee, I also plead that we support that approach and support that an apology is important. Thanks very much, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chirwa.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, for the opportunity you are giving me to speak on this matter. I've raised this matter so many times before. I've raised it verbally to the Chairperson in a previous physical meeting last year. I've raised it to the Minister. I've raised it to the Deputy Minister. I've raised it even to the Chairperson, Mr. Frolic. I've even opened a criminal case against Mr. Joe Khatla, who called me a bitch and promised to physically hit me on the day he sees me in Cape Town. I was reminding him of his commitment last week. But because I know men like him are cowards, I knew he was not going to do anything or say anything, which has proven me right. Now, on the day, I apologize to somebody who calls me a bitch or to somebody who threatens to beat me up. As a gender activist myself, that is the day I'm probably electrocuted and tortured. And still, even then, an apology will not escape my lips. I will never, ever, and I hope he's online, I will never, ever, 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 he can rally all his allies he can
Honorable
rally even the
Chirwa.
president. I will never apologize to the man who called me a bitch.
Honorable
and who
Chirwa, I
threat-
think you're taking
but
the wrong
Chairperson,
angle.
but
Honorable
Chairperson,
Chirwa. Honorable Chirwa, hold on, please. You're taking the wrong angle.
no, but allow me to speak.
was
I
not-
heard everybody out, and you're doing it again. I'm raising the same issue that I raised again,
Honorable
but you don't want me
Chirwa,
to
I'm
speak.
still on the platform. Don't do this. Let me speak and then you can respond. I am saying, as the chairperson, I started by saying you're taking the wrong angle. Would you allow me just to say to you what I think? And I was not in that meeting, if you would remember. So I had not personally seen any of these things. Let's get to the point where we say there is an allegation that you had verbally abused and physically abused a support staff member, irrespective of what happened before at this particular meeting, due to the discussions of that particular meeting. Can we please concentrate on that and take it from there? Thank you.
Absolutely not a problem, even that, Chairperson. Now, when I'm about to pass and the person who saw at me and threatened to beat me up is also passing in the same direction, who must make way? It's me. I'm the one who must move to the side. Absolutely not. Even that again, the entitlement, the sense of entitlement that I must make space for him and he can make space for me. I'm not going to apologize for not making space for somebody who threatened to beat me up and who swore at me, and I reported it to all layers of power and nobody did anything about it. I am not going to apologize. Joe Carter, next time when he sees me, he must make way for me. It's as simple as that. I do not suffer from low self-esteem where I'm going to move and make way for somebody who threatened to beat me up. He had a perfect opportunity to do it last week and he didn't do it. And I reminded him, I'm like, oh, it's you, Joe Carter. Why are you not beating me up like you said you would? Here is the bitch you called bitch. Do it like you promised me you would. But he didn't. So it is me who must now move and make space for Joe Carter. Why can't you do that for me? What makes him special? I'm not apologizing for anything. If anybody has a problem with what happened, it's fine. They can report it. I also report it, and I will take you, all of you, through that process of reminding you. I'm happy that these meetings are even recorded. I will remind each and every person that in the instance that I reported as a woman in this portfolio committee, I've reported it to you as well, Chairperson. You were then, not the meeting last week, to a previous meeting last year when this whole thing took place. And we were having a virtual meeting. I said it to you categorically. I said it to the minister. I said to Deputy Minister that I'm afraid to come to. I even missed the meeting after that one, after that particular threat. And that's when I was advised to go open a criminal case against Joe Carter. But we know our police and we know our justice system. Nothing is ever going to come out of it. I reported it to the chairperson. I reported it to my website and everybody else. What do you want me to do? Do you want me, when I see Joe Carter, to run away to make space for him? No, he must do that. He must do that. Why aren't you telling him to apologize for failing to make space for me? When we were working in the same, we were working opposite directions. Why is it me who must make space for? I'm not going to make space. If he was coming in my direction, I'm going to keep my poise and keep walking. If he's the one who bumped into me, the insistence that it is me, I didn't go to Joe Carter's table. By the way, Chairperson, I didn't go to his table. He was coming on my opposite direction as we were ordered to go out and leave the meeting. And we left the meeting. In fact, there were even security services people waiting for us at the door because you guys wanted to beat us up for something that you guys are now agreeing with us on today's meeting. So I'm not going to apologize to Joe Carter. In fact, he must be taught manners. When he sees women and he has to pass and the other woman has to pass, he must have the chivalry to move aside and allow the person to pass. Not the other way around. I'm not making space for any man to pass before me when I also have the right to pass. I don't suffer from low self-esteem. I don't suffer from being suffocated by patriarchy. I am an equal as everybody else in this place. And absolutely not will it happen that somebody who calls me a bitch and threatens to beat me up will ever have the right to pass before I pass when we come across each other on a road. That is not going to happen. And you will not get an apology from me. If anything, I am the one who deserves an apology from Joe Cutler. But because there is no care for women members in this portfolio committee, there is no care for what I had gone through at the hands of this man, that I reported to the chairperson, I reported to the minister and the deputy minister and the chairperson of chairs. Nobody has done anything about it. There's a criminal case against this man for the threat that he made to me. And yet, this portfolio committee is requesting that I must apologize to a man who saw me getting up, trying to go out the door, and decided it's the perfect time for him to move forward. Do you not see even the calculativeness of that moment? But you are not going to see it because it is Naledi Chiro. You're not going to see it because it is just another woman, and that's fine. But an apology, you're not getting it. You're not getting it over my dead body.
Thank you, Honorable Chirwa. So, honorable members, this is very basic, very easy. We're not going to get into a discussion. I'm going to only talk about these things. The one is, yes, you did raise it in a meeting, and yes, you were told, Honorable Chirwa, to write to the necessary people, presiding officers, whoever, those in charge of Parliament. I hope that you had actually done that, but that was the outcome of my ruling for that meeting. So please don't say again that you had spoken to the chairperson and done nothing. As far as anybody else is concerned, I cannot speak on their behalf. I can only say what happened in a particular meeting.
There's no need to be provocative, chairperson, to say, please don't say again, you spoke to the chairperson. What is that? Why do you have to speak to me like that? There's no reason at all to be provocative.
Honorable
Just
Chirwa,
say, yes, you did say it in a meeting and I
Honorable
noted it.
Chirwa,
That's all.
I gave you the
But to say,
space
please
to-
don't ever say.
Honorable
Please don't ever
Chirwa,
say.
you've been given the space to
Please
talk.
don't ever say. Now you want to control what I
You
say in a
can't tell
meeting.
me what to say. How can you tell me
Yes,
how
you
to
can
speak?
tell me as well.
The
No.
chair
Say
must
don't
be
ever
respected.
say. How?
No, you can't do this. Just wait, please. I'm on the floor. I gave you space. Now, the second thing is, I'm not going to get involved in your further discussions, your criminal case and stuff, which I believe there is no such criminal case. And I could be wrong, but you can go and answer this somewhere else. I believe there was no criminal case opened by
You
the
believe.
SAPS or
You were there
or
with me at the
followed
police station
through
when I
by
opened the case.
SAPS.
You
Thirdly,
believe.
Honorable
You
Chirwa,
believe. Wow.
Thirdly, Honorable Chirwa, I'm going to refer this to the Ethics Committee, and I think that's the end of the entire discussion as far as...
Thank you very much. I will really appreciate that.
...is concerned.
Thank you very much.
All right. Honorable members, unless there is any other matter, I don't think that we have called any other matters for today. Ms. Vuyokati, please draw up the necessary letter for the referral to the Ethics Committee as to what happened on that particular day. Mr. Siwela, Honorable Siwela, as the acting chairperson, please assist with that. And I think the Ethics Committee does its own work. And any other committee which I cannot think of right now, which attends to these kind of matters at the parliamentary level. If there is nothing else, Honorable Kaba, I see your hand is raised. You still want to speak? I've just made a ruling on this matter.
No, Chair, thanks, Chair. I just rise to support the ruling. As earlier said, the Chair has powers to decide with the running of the committee and other matters. I support your leadership, Chair. But just to mention that we have many other honorable members who are female on the committee. And I do believe also from my weight that they are being respected. So for any other female member that may feel not respected, not in this committee, you are all respected. Thank you, Chair.
All right. Thank you very much. Honorable members, that brings us to the end of our meeting. We will have a communication to yourselves as to the next meeting. I will give you a reminder that you will speak to your chief whips. You will forward those letters to me by Monday. I would think Monday 2 o'clock should be fair. and we will then communicate with you further. I think that brings us to end of this meeting. Thank you very much for your participation.